All right, so welcome back to the Pop Pump Podcast. I don't know which episode this is. I think it's 15. And as everyone can
Dang.
see, that is not Chase. I'm Michael.
And I'm Uzair. I've replaced Chase for the day.
Yes, and we're doing mostly this episode's going to be a deep dive on Supergirl, comparing it to the Woman of Tomorrow comic book, and I guess critiquing it. And then I think we're going to talk about the Dune 3 trailer a little bit. But yeah,
Yes, sir. That
okay.
seems to be the plan.
Before we
Yeah.
start actually talking about the movie at all, there's something. Okay, when you read the comic book, what did you think happened at the end?
As in,
Like the very end, the
like,
last page, like the last three panels, like when Ruthie's narrating it and she's like, "This is the end of the story," and it actually is the end, and it's the last page.
oh, I mean, it's just the very
Okay,
last panel of
when
the comic
Supergirl brought Krem, yeah, when Supergirl
to
brought Krem to
the
Ruthie,
Phantom
what
Zone
do you think? No, after the Phantom Zone, when she got him out of the Phantom Zone, like 300 years later or
after
whatever.
Ruthie like slaps him, sorry,
Yeah, what
or
do
hits
you
him with the
think
cane.
happens in those last? Yeah, what happens at the end? This is not a. It's kind of a trick question, but it's not really
Nothing.
because Tom King's an idiot. But
Nothing. Like, I mean, it just kind of concludes. Like, I mean, there's like a little motivational, like Supergirl saying, like, or not her, but
okay,
Ruthie, like
what do you think
narrating.
Krem's fate was?
Oh, he didn't die.
Okay, the thing
Is
is,
that what you're getting?
yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay, okay, okay.
So
I
when you,
feel like, yeah, that
read
is
it,
kind of a trick question because I'm like, yeah,
you thought that he lived
yeah.
the first time. Okay. See, the thing is, apparently, like most people don't think that when they read it, and I didn't think that either.
Hmm.
Like because and I saw someone talking about this. Uh, first of all, it was part of like one of the reasons why I was kind of worried about them doing Woman of Tomorrow because I was like I didn't really like the ending. Uh, just because I thought that she like brought Krem to Ruthie and then let Ruthie murder him,
Hmm.
and I was like you shouldn't do that, but all right. But my issue with it is I saw someone talking about it and they were like, "Oh yeah, well he didn't die at the end." And if you there's interviews that Tom King has done, I guess, where he confirms that's like that's what you're supposed to interpret is that he did not die. And the argument I've seen for it though is that the last three panels of the comic book, it's like Ruthie hits him on the head and he falls down, obviously, and like blood shoots out of his fucking face. And then there's like the next panel after that, he like is lying flat on his back and he reaches up and like grabs his head, and that's what people have been arguing as like, oh well, he's not dead because he reaches up and grabs his head after he gets hit. But the very last panel is his arm drops back down, and then he just stays on the ground, and then you see Supergirl and Ruthie walking away in different directions, and that's it.
See, the thing is that I feel like you already answered this controversy before you explained it when you said that Tom King says
Which
he's
is
not dead.
it's not a good argument. It's like when
That's a
people
great
no, it's a
argument.
terrible argument. If you don't write it, if you don't make it very clear, whatever you don't write in the story is not part of the story. Even if you say it, even if you're the author and you say
No,
something
that
happened
yeah,
afterwards, not that's not how that works. And
that's true. That is true. But if he is coming after the fact and rectifying some confusion,
but
you know,
saying
that
you're supposed to interpret it this way is not the
okay,
same
well,
thing,
yeah, sure, sure,
which is
sure,
what happened
sure.
because it's like if it were clear, like if it were super clear, like if the last panel was the part where he like holds his head and everyone just like wasn't paying attention while reading it and assumed that he was dead and like just overlooked that panel or whatever, and then Tom King was like, no, he's alive, like go look at it, he holds his head, I'd be like, okay, fine. But the last shot is him lying on his back not moving, which
He might have passed
conveys
out.
death in no, that's not how you
Uh,
write.
he, he
That's not
was
how you write
he,
that though. It's not.
he
It's
was in the
not well.
Phantom Zone for like 300 years, bro. You
It
know,
doesn't
maybe he was
matter.
just taking a nap.
It doesn't matter.
He hasn't had any like physical. uh altercation with anybody for 300 years. So the second that Ruthie hits him with the cane, what else is he supposed to do? He probably passes out.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's
Which like
totally logical. And also,
I was just
I was just gonna say,
just you
you
go,
know
you go,
what?
you go, you go, you go.
I think I'm also more behind the idea, and like I need to believe the idea that he is alive in the comic, so that I can use it as a way to not discredit the movie, but to be like, hey, what the movie did, in my opinion, at the end was wrong. Because if the comic did the same thing, then maybe, even though it didn't happen the same way, but I think that would taint the message and the theme of
Sure,
the
sure.
entire story. So if he is supposed to be interpreted as dead, then I think the movie's decision to do the same thing might not be that controversial. But I need it to be controversial because I
Yes.
didn't like the movie's ending.
I agree with you that I wish that that's how I interpreted it, but I wish that Tom King would just write a clear ending instead of not
Yeah,
writing a clear
that's
ending.
fair.
I'm like, if you want him to be alive, just make him alive. Don't make it like ambiguous. And that was the other thing too. Is in the
Yeah, that's
interview,
fair.
he's been like, literally says that it's not supposed to be ambiguous, and I'm like, well, then why did you write it that way? I'm like, because, and I was looking it up. I was doing research on it because I was like, am I the crazy one, like the only person who,
Oops.
you know, or did I just not read it all
Yeah,
the way because I was worried that she was gonna let him die or kill him or whatever when I was reading the comic book. So I just assumed that that's
yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
happened. Especially because my issue too is like Tom King does that shit a lot. He likes to. He does okay. I don't want to keep bashing Tom King. Tom King is a good writer, but he is not a good writer of superheroes,
Mm.
if that makes sense. Like
I I just yeah,
his thing is, so the Woman of Tomorrow is a good example. His thing is he always takes a character and then makes them isolated and depressed so that they can overcome being isolated and depressed. That's like his bread and butter. Even if it
yeah,
doesn't make
yeah.
sense for that character. Like there was a whole thing. There was like a
Mm.
whole thing, a DC storyline, Heroes in Crisis, where he did the same thing to Wally, and everybody hates it because he made Wally accidentally murder a bunch of people, and then like frame Harley and Booster for the murders. It was like a whole thing. Everyone was super pissed off. But it's not the first time that Tom
Yeah,
King
yeah,
has
yeah.
done like a dark, depressing twist on an otherwise like hopeful or like fun character or whatever. And then
Yeah, 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 yeah.
come in post and be like trying to explain why he made certain controversial decisions to the fans. Like fans being like, "Oh, we didn't like Heroes in Crisis because you made Wally kill a bunch of people." And then in post, Tom
Right.
King's like, "Well, technically he didn't." And it's like, "You're right, but the way you told the story, he did kill a bunch of people and then he just undid it with time travel." It's like, but he still did it. And
Yeah. No, I can see where you're coming from. I think, I mean, this is completely related to him writing stories like that or about heroes like that. But speaking of Tom King, I actually forgot that, because obviously when the Supergirl trailer came out, and obviously, or well, before that, when news came out that Jason Momoa was cast as Lobo, and Lobo was going to be included in the movie, a lot of people were like, "Oh, in the comic, Lobo's not in Woman Tomorrow at all."
right,
So
yeah.
like, well, this is so random. Like, this is his inclusion is going to be like the most random thing. And I thought that at first too, but then I remembered that Tom King actually had Lobo in. I don't know if it was called Woman of Tomorrow at that point. I think it was, they were like still doing drafts for the comic or the graphic novel, whatever. Um, Lobo was supposed to be. I mean, he's a bounty hunter in the movie too, but he was supposed to be a bounty hunter, and he was supposed to act in place of Ruthie originally. So Ruthie wasn't a part of the original comic at all. Instead, it was Lobo and then Kara, which I had totally forgotten. So I was like, maybe his inclusion now, because I think someone came out about James Gunn and Peter. They said that they wanted to, I guess, honor Tom King's original or one of his original drafts, I guess, with including Lobo. And which I think is funny because now that they've done that, a lot of people and like their reaction to the movie, it's kind of like I don't know if you've seen that meme where it's like it, it's like from it's like from this YouTube streamers. It just shows you a picture of a kid and then there's an arrow pointing to the kid and it just says random kid because he's just
Oh yeah, yeah,
randomly
yeah.
in this like area. Do you know what
Sure.
I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah,
So a lot of people are reacting like that to Lobo and they're like Lobo's just the random kid that's in the movie. But I think it's funny because the reaction, or sorry, Tom King's hesitance to include Lobo the first time, I think was because of that, because he was like, maybe Lobo doesn't fit the story. But now that same, and now he's being validated because of people reacting to the movie, even though I liked Lobo in the movie. But I've seen people, talk about him
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
being kind of randomly in there. Um, so yeah, I think that's kind of funny.
I think what's more funny is how I think I said this to you in a text or something, but it like how people kept on saying when the movie first came out and people were like, "Oh, Lobo's like the only good part," or "Lobo's so great in this," or "Lobo whatever." Like people were glazing Lobo in the movie, and then after seeing
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
I was like, y'all realize Lobo didn't do anything, right? Like he was just cool looking. Like
I think the only thing I mean, in terms of powers, he didn't really do anything,
that's what I
right? They
mean.
didn't really
That's what I
show
mean.
you what.
Yeah.
Okay, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Obviously,
because
he
I heard
helped out in the
people
plot,
say
but
that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, yeah. That's what I thought it was kind of funny because I was like, this kind of bleeds into some other like talking points that I came up with, but I think this might go slightly off topic, but in terms of them not showcasing his powers, I don't know if that was more so to be like, hey, we don't want to kind of overshadow or like throw so much at like audiences, like especially casual audiences,
sure.
when they already have a superpowered woman, Supergirl, like, and then obviously giving Krem powers too in some sort of like super
Oh
strength
yeah, yeah. How
kind of way
all the
in
bandits
this,
or
right?
whatever were kind of strong or whatever.
Yeah, so I feel like maybe in terms of power scaling, they were like, maybe they'll be doing too much. Obviously, you have crypto, even though I mean at that point the movie's not there. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think he was a welcome addition. I think he made the movie feel a little more like I don't know. I think intriguing in a way because, well, actually, you know what? I take that back because in Woman of Tomorrow, the whole comic is heavily based on just Ruthie and Kara's relationship, and you don't really care about anybody else that shows up besides Comet, I guess, because Comet shows up for a bit and then goes away, right?
Nobody
But
gives a
that's
fuck
like
about
the
Comet.
most, yeah, but that's like the most you get, right? Other than that, you don't really have anybody like huge or substantial from like DC lore that shows up.
Right.
Um, but then I guess it doesn't really hurt the movie because that relationship between Kara and Ruthie wasn't really there for me anyways. So maybe it doesn't really matter. But
Yeah, I mean,
I guess, for the movie I think it worked.
yeah, cause their relationship in the movie, it's like,
Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us season 1.
yeah, but
That's
it's like you like
that's what it
it's the
is.
very it's yeah. That's actually a great example because it's like you leave out all of the little details that make it feel like it makes sense, but you still have like
Yeah.
five or six important scenes that is like the
It's
selling
like,
points of the relationship. So it's like, okay, technically it's there, but it's not enough.
yeah, it's like they gave you all the like narrative bits. Like, hey, this
Yeah.
is the first part where they're not getting along with each other.
It's like
This
bullet
is the next
points.
part where, yeah, yeah, they went through bullet points, but there's no like, uh, what is it called? Like, under the bullet
Yeah,
points, you
there are no
add a
paragraphs under the bullet points. It's just the
paragraph.
bullet
Yeah,
points.
yeah. There's nothing in between,
It's just
right?
like
So there's no
Ruthie and
way to like,
Supergirl meet. Ruthie is enamored with Supergirl, whatever you want to call it.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And that's what sucks too, is because that's like, I think also I should preface all this because I didn't really. I know you and Chase like spoke about it, so obviously you guys had already established that. But me coming in new, I didn't dislike the movie. I think I gave Supergirl a straight up. 6 out of 10. You know, more so
Yeah.
because I wanted more out of it, not because I didn't like certain things that they did. But I think also it's a little unfair to rate the movie so harshly when you're comparing it to such a great comic. And then
Yeah.
obviously it kind of being like the first, unless like I'm not like remembering correctly, but I think it's pretty much the first movie that is not even loosely based, but like it's taking inspiration from a comic fully, you know, just
Oh,
an
no, it's
entire
the
comic
first.
rather
Yeah.
than,
It's the
right?
first. That's never
Yeah, okay,
happened
that's what I
before.
thought.
Yeah.
Rather than just taking bits and pieces of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Watchmen did it first, but that's actually the first time. Now that I'm thinking
Mm,
about it,
yeah.
because that's straight
I
up
guess
taken from
on
it.
this grand of a scale, you know, like you're
But
going like, oh, it's
it's
Supergirl.
it's
It's
the
like the
first.
second iteration of
Yeah,
DCU.
and it's definitely the
Yeah.
first time they've done it in like a cinematic universe where they're like, we're taking a comic book and making it into a movie, not like we're taking a theme from a comic book and making that into a movie,
Yeah.
which is the whole argument for Superman or whatever, like how James Gunn before that movie came out kept comparing it to All Star Superman, but he didn't
Mhm.
mean the plot, he meant like thematically, and it's just like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or
Yeah,
vibes.
so it kind of like the movie's already kind of starting off like I mean it goes back to the classic like discussion, you know, of like oh like the movies or TVs or television series will never be as good as like the
Yeah,
books they're based on,
yeah,
right?
it's just
So it's like the
impossible.
same it's like the same thing. It's like you're not going to be better, right? The only thing you can do is do your best to try at least, right?
Sure.
Which unfortunately, I think the movie didn't try at all.
No. I don't think they give it enough runtime to try in the first place.
That
An
that
hour and
too, I
48
think I
minutes is
yeah.
not. First of all, 3 hours would have probably barely been enough to cover the whole comic book.
That's the thing too, is like it's like I feel like you're like you said, like you're already doing a disservice by like you're already gonna be starting from the bottom when you're trying to adapt a comic with such, you know, like grandeur and love, right?
Yeah.
But then you're also not giving it a good opportunity to even try to emulate, you know, what the comic did, like the runtime. I mean, an hour and 30 or I mean, what it's an hour and 48 with credits,
Yeah,
right?
an hour 48 with credits.
Yeah,
So
so
an hour
so
and
what
40
you're looking at
minutes.
an hour
Yeah.
30, 45,
Yeah.
right? Or sorry, 35, 40. So yeah, it's like what more can you do at that point? And
Yeah.
especially, dude, especially when this is the start of the DCU. This is the make it or break it time for the DC universe. You
Yeah.
know, they've already kind of had some, you know, trips and shortcomings when, you know, obviously uh they were like, "Hey, we're gonna keep Henry Cavill and oh Black Adam's here now," and then hey, you
Oh
know
yeah.
what? Maybe we're gonna just start
We
from
don't
new.
talk about
It's
that.
like, oh, Peacemaker. Yeah, so it's like oh, they're already kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
starting off not as fresh as they wanted.
Sure. Sure.
Um and then this goes into kind of off of Supergirl, but I'll just mention it right now. The fact that you're also starting the DCU when you have a fresh slate, right? You have another chance to do what the DCEU didn't do right, which was not give the Trinity their movies. Now, what does the DCU do? They don't even start off with
Nothing.
Superman. Like, like sure they did the TV show, you know, the Peacemaker. They did Creature. Sure, you know, it's in a television format. You start off with the first, uh, uh, you know, theatrical debut as Superman. Great, you know, you did that well. Superman was an amazing film. Just do Wonder Woman next, bro.
Yeah.
Just do Wonder
Well,
Woman
do
next. Do
Batman next, but
Batman
then do Wonder
next.
Woman after
Do
that.
one of those two. Yeah, do one of those two next. Like I love Supergirl and I love, you know, Woman of Tomorrow as a comic and everything about it. But like you have a fresh slate here, right? You're trying to do what the MCU did. Just copy them. Like copy them
Yeah.
in terms of at least like or in terms of format at least, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like give your Trinity the groundwork, the framework, give them that establishment and then give me your Supergirl, give me your Booster Gold, give me your the Amanda Waller series, you know?
Actually, I don't want
Like you
that.
got to start off
Don't give me
strong.
that. Don't make the Waller
Listen,
series. Keep that
I
shit
want to
away from
see
me.
DC. See, the thing is like I know you
I hate
primarily
her
been
so
like a
much, bro.
DC fan. I know, but I'm saying in terms of like you have been more of like a DC fan. I've always been more of a Marvel fan. But even as a Marvel fan, it's like beyond that, I'm a superhero fan.
Right.
You know, so it's like I want to see the DC or yeah, the DC universe do the same thing that Marvel has done. Even though, you know, obviously there's reservations about Marvel in the past couple of years, but when Marvel was popping, Marvel was
Yeah,
popping,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
And the DCU, I feel like has that potential to do that, but I don't know. It's looking like scary times, and with all this stuff about lanterns coming out now, and it's like, dude, lanterns
Dude,
needs to be
honestly,
like OG Game of Thrones level. Like that's what I need from them.
if
I need that
lanterns,
from them.
here's the thing with lanterns. I have like cascading worries about lanterns. What I would like for it to be is like, yeah, like season 1 or 2 Game of Thrones tier, but like
Yeah.
heavily Green Lantern stuff in the forefront. Like not them not having their powers like the whole show or whatever. You know what I mean? Cuz like the trailer makes it seem like, there's going to be a lot of time where they're not in their suits and they're not doing Green Lantern shit, and it's like if the show has to be, if I have to sacrifice that for the show to be peak,
Hmm.
I will hate the show if that happens. But if everybody else likes it, then I'm okay, then I can live
Oh,
with
you
it.
mean in terms of like overwhelming success
Yeah, like
versus
if
you
it, if it
personally
does
not
really
liking it?
well,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
I just think it's a
Yeah.
horrible
Yeah.
Green Lantern adaptation, but it is written well and like and people love
Yeah.
it and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah. I
like
see
that,
what you mean.
then I would rather be alone and think that it's terrible and everyone else that way it's still successful. But
I
like
honestly I think that's fair
if
because
it's
yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
not Green Lantern, if they shy away from going over the top with the Green Lantern stuff, and by over the top, I'm saying they should go over the top with it. Like there better be crazy Green Lantern shit happening every fucking episode. But if they don't do that and it's terrible, that might take my faith for the DCU for a while until Man of Tomorrow comes out and Superman and Lex save the day.
It's funny too that you say that because granted, I don't like if I can't help myself, I will watch new trailers, new teasers, new TV spots. If I'm like just too impatient to be like, oh, I can't wait until the movie. Like I have to see this cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, with lanterns though, sorry, with sometimes though, I am able to control myself, right? So I feel like I've been able to do that about lanterns just because I am not trying to get my hopes up too much about it. So I'm like, you know what? That thing I know is coming out soon. I can wait.
yeah.
So I haven't seen a lot of footage from it. The footage I have seen, though, I think it from my point of view right now, given the amount of footage I've seen from it at this point, I think it looks more like it could fit with Man of Steel. Like it's giving me Man of Steel vibes
Sure.
in terms of how serious it looks, how maybe kind of gritty it looks, the
Yeah.
lack of color, you know, which
The
I
lack
love
of
Man of
green.
Steel. I think Man of Steel's the lack of green, right? Which is not to say that I don't think it'd be good because I mean, I Man of Steel, I love that movie. You know, that movie is great. It's a different interpretation of Superman, sure,
Absolutely.
but I see the good in that, and I can see the good in Superman 2025, right?
Well, it's kind
I
of
just want things to like,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I like both of those things, but so far, Lanterns is not looking like it fits with Corn Sweat Superman. It looks like it's fitting with Cavill Superman.
Sure.
So you know, I don't know
Yeah.
about that yet.
It's kind of funny though that you bring up Man of Steel because like Man of Steel, because people, especially nowadays, retroactively, I think more and more people are like, "Oh, that movie's terrible." Especially like the people that are in the camp of it's a terrible representation of Superman. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're not technically wrong about the Superman thing, I guess, but at the same time, Man of Steel is like the reason that I got into comic books in the first place.
Yeah.
Like that. Well, it's not. Injustice is the reason, which is crazy to say because Injustice is fucking ridiculous. But but that was the same summer. They both came out the same summer,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like the same within a couple months of
2013,
yeah,
right? 2013.
2013, yeah,
Yeah.
within a couple months of each
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
at least. Uh,
Yeah.
but like I remember like playing Injustice, and then I was like, I don't remember superheroes being this fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then the Man of Steel trailer came out like the next week, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go see that. And I really enjoyed Man of Steel. And
Mm.
obviously that was before I like that was before I was like a super Superman fan, and
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
before I had read a bunch of comic books and stuff like that. So I didn't have the whole like, oh, it's not an accurate Superman thing kind of like bogging me down going into it. Because honestly, if I feel like if I was as much of a Superman fan as I am today, and then Man of Steel came out, and then he murdered Zod, I'd be like, the fuck was that?
Dude, that
but like,
that's how. I mean, yeah. 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 Yeah.
but it was dope when I had didn't know anything, and it was 2013.
Yeah. That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, kind of going back to Supergirl now with, with you mentioning that.
Yeah, yeah,
With I think I mean I know we talked about a little bit about Krem's fate at the very beginning, um, but then coming back to more like Supergirl comic versus movie changes. Obviously, I feel like there are a good bit. This one isn't my like number one like I wish they had done this differently, even though it kind of does relate back to the Superman, and how he deals with Zod in Man of Steel, and obviously Kara and how she deals with Krem in this.
sure.
I don't necessarily like looking back, at Man of Steel. I don't agree with that, and then obviously having the knowledge I have now with Krem and how I just completely disagree with how she dealt with that.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think you can almost make the same argument for both though. Like where like in Man cuz okay, Zod's a good example because the
no, but
way
bro, Zod compared to Krem,
yeah, okay,
it's
yes.
like listen,
Zod's an entirely different animal. Right. But it's still like you could still make because I think I said this a little bit in a text as well, but it's kind of the same argument. Zod obviously it's a much easier argument to make because Zod usually in like DC lore does not show up right away. Year one
yeah,
Superman.
yeah,
It's like Zod shows up a little bit after Superman knows what he's doing. So when Zod shows up and Superman beats him, he's just like, all right, get your ass in the Phantom Zone. And obviously in Man of Steel, Superman did not have a way to imprison Zod or like like there was no way there was no like Superman did not have a way to get rid of Zod without killing him. You can easily make that argument.
yeah.
So it's like, what did you want him to do? Like, put him in handcuffs, like, or just like sit on him for eternity? It's like, even if he were able to knock him out, they don't have anywhere to put him, and nobody, and especially not in the DCEU universe, the humans did not have a way to beat Zod or control him or
I,
contain him or whatever.
yeah,
And
yeah,
obviously, Krem is not Zod, but I said that before where like Supergirl does not have the Phantom Zone in this version of the story like she does in the comic. And there is no like Justice League prison or or I don't know, like there's no like established intergalactic government. Like there's no Green Lantern. What there is a Green Lantern Corps, obviously, but like we don't know about it yet. So like it'd be like they like sure they could have shoehorned in the Green Lanterns at the end of the movie. Actually, that would have been cool. They should have done that. They should have had a Green Lantern show up and
I mean,
throw
I
him
was
in
literally
this.
about to say, I was literally about to say,
I think I
you
just argued
answered
against my own.
the, yeah,
I think I just
yeah,
convinced
yeah.
myself that it's dumb. But still, like
Like,
for
dude,
casuals, for
there's a
if
way
for
though.
casuals,
There's a
you
way.
can at least argue it's like okay, it'd be kind of wild if in the last 2 minutes of Supergirl, Hal shows up and throws Krem into a science cell and is like, all right, yeah, you're in prison now on Oa, and it's like, but it does exist technically, so it's kind of like, but
The thing is
and
too is I feel like for
Green Lanterns patrol all of space. Oof.
yeah, listen, I'm gonna get into that a little bit because I wrote it's not it doesn't have necessarily have to do with the Green Lantern Corps, but kind of in a way, like with the whole like just everyone
Hmm.
existing in this universe now that we know,
I might have to
even
take another
Superman.
point off Supergirl now. I think I just convinced myself.
Listen, I think it's valid because now I feel like for general audiences, Supergirl to them, like I know in the trailer they were marketing like, oh, Superman sees the good in people and I see the truth, right?
Yeah,
So they're
stupid line.
obviously already giving you like a little like, oh hey, Supergirl's a little more like, she's not as refined as Superman. She's a little more
Sure,
rough
sure.
around the edges. Like
Right, right.
she is not perfect, right? And you're like, okay, that's fine, whatever. Feel like now that I explained a lot to this to you earlier, so I mean I can uh like preface all this again afterwards. But the fact that the movie concludes with her making that decision to kill him,
Yeah.
it leaves this image in the mind or in like general audience's mind where they're like, okay, in this movie, Supergirl has learned, although I don't think they did a good job of showing how she learned this, but she has ultimately learned that maybe revenge is not the answer, and revenge is the thing that is eating me up inside, and that I can't always win, right? Obviously the theme of Woman Tomorrow is that evil is always going to exist, right?
Yeah.
She cannot end all evil either by sword or by revenge or quests of revenge, right? That's not
Right,
going
right,
to
right.
happen.
Yeah.
Evil is always going to exist. But now that she has killed Krem, for general audiences, they're going to be like, okay, Supergirl is okay with doing that. That's their last image of her, right? As the movie ends, they're like, if it comes down to it, we now know that Supergirl, if it needs to happen, she will make that decision, right? Which that's not something that general audiences should come away with, right?
Right.
That's not what you need.
Yeah.
Because think about
The thing is,
there need
if
no, wait,
Supergirl
hold
ever
on, hold on,
tries to
hold
kill
on.
anyone else, Superman will bitch slap her
Well,
so
listen,
hard she
listen,
won't even know what
listen.
happened.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, imagine if they did a version of that final scene where Kara's talking to Superman in the apartment, and Superman's like, okay, hey, like just tell me about like what you guys
Yeah,
like what
yeah.
what you've been doing the past couple of days. Like how did you come back? He's like, oh, I went on this little adventure with this girl. She had a little quest for revenge, and I learned a lot about myself. And I think I finally understand now that revenge is not the answer, and that I'm here to help. And I think I want to like rally behind, um, your cause. I want to help you out here on
Right,
Earth.
right, right.
But before coming here, I did kill somebody, and Clark's just sitting there like, oh, oh, excuse me? Like, what? Like, what?
he just like
You killed somebody,
he just
and
like
now you want to
slowly
come help
reaches
me?
into his back pocket for the Phantom Zone projector. He's just like
Like,
he's like, you
dude,
gotta go to
it just
timeout.
doesn't make sense. Like I read some things about people saying, like, obviously in Woman of Tomorrow, Ruthie stops Kara from killing Krem,
Right.
and in Woman of Tomorrow, obviously Supergirl's already come into like before Woman of Tomorrow, like she's already dealt with. I'm pretty sure she's already dealt with like Red Lanterns. She's dealt with Doomsday. She's like dealt with some
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah.
right?
She's
Before
because
Woman of
in
Tomorrow, right?
Woman of Tomorrow's not canon, but she's
Oh, yeah, yeah, but
but yeah, like she's 18, I think, in Woman of Tomorrow, and like generally speaking, she gets to Earth when she's like 15, 16. So she's been Supergirl for
yeah,
at least a few years.
for a while. Yeah, so she's dealt with some things, and obviously her being more battle ridden, right, makes sense to why she's like, you know what, I've had enough of this. I've been through all this stuff. I'm going to end this guy's life so that he can't, cause any more harm. So it kind of makes sense. But then even then she's still like kind of she stops, right? Ruthie stops her.
Right. And even
This
that
Supergirl,
scene is like Supergirl was proving a point. Like I don't when I read that,
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't think she was actually gonna kill him. I think she wanted Ruthie
right,
to
right,
think
right,
that she
right,
was
right.
gonna kill him
To
to
Yeah,
make
yeah, yeah,
Ruthie
to
be
kind
like,
of
"Oh, that's fucked up." Like
yeah.
yeah, which is what happens.
Meanwhile, though, in this is a brand new Supergirl,
Right.
relatively speaking,
Sure.
right? And sure, her emotions might be a little more raw and new, and maybe that's why she's more reactive, right?
Yeah, you sure?
But still, man, it's like she's telling Ruthie this idea, or this yeah, this idea of like, oh hey, revenge is not the answer, right?
Yeah.
But then her going back on her word just doesn't, like her own word rather, just I don't know, it just doesn't click with me.
Yeah.
Like obviously the phantom zone doesn't exist, and it's like 300 years, like obviously they can't do a time jump like that.
Right,
they're
right.
they're, they're not going to be able to do the same thing that the comic did. I understand that completely. But even something like you just said, like there are prisons out there.
Yeah.
There are ways for her to even just leaving him on, honestly, I don't even know what planet they were on.
I think they
Oh,
were
at the end
on.
of the
I think they
movie.
were on. I think they were still on the Kryptonite Sun planet. I'm pretty sure.
Well, perfect. Leave him there. Leave him there. That, like, and
True. Like,
this
just
kind of gets
destroy
into
the
other
ship
things.
and then like be like, all right, good luck with
Just
the monsters
leave
and
him.
stuff. Like, bye.
Well, the monsters didn't exist.
Well, pretend they
The
existed.
movie the movie apparently didn't have the budget to show us the
Pretend they
dinosaurs.
existed,
Okay.
and then yeah, the one scene in
Yeah,
the entire
just leave
comic book
it
where
there.
Ruthie was cool wasn't in the movie.
Exactly, yeah. And then another thing is too is like if they kind of went more by the comic book, this is a whole nother point again, but explain explain the construction behind the green sun, right? And know that it was a prison, right, built for Superman. So therefore, there, if they had included that in the movie, you already have a basis of like,
Sure.
hey,
Yeah.
this planet can be designed or was designed as a prison.
Right.
You know, obviously,
And
Krem is not
nothing.
Kryptonian,
Yeah.
but
And nothing
it,
under Kryptonian tier can
yeah, I
survive
mean,
basically.
if a Kryptonian can be held prison here,
And
then
anything can. Yeah.
then then Krem can
Yeah,
too,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like the what's
So
the planet in Invincible with all like the red dinosaur things that they were like that the Viltrumites were
yeah,
like, don't fucking go
the
there.
Viltrumites are scared of.
Yeah, the
Yeah, yeah.
Viltrumites don't go there. The one in Nolan's book.
That's just so easy.
Yeah,
It's just
just
so
make it
easy.
that.
Like unless they're like, I don't know, James is like, he's like 1,000 IQ, like thinking ahead, like they're planning something for Supergirl to go all injustice or something. Dude, I don't know. Okay,
But that's
I
not a
don't
good
know.
idea. If you make it look okay, you can't characterize Supergirl as if it's like New 52 Supergirl. Because that's what it seems like. Okay, first of all, when people the whole meme that people are like, "Oh, Supergirl's the angry, violent one and Superman's the nice one," is
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
bullshit. That's not true. Look, and I'm not saying that like Supergirl is like a bad character or is not doesn't have things that make her unique, but Supergirl and Superman as far as how they are superheroes, like how they behave as superheroes, are exactly the same in the comics. Like there is no ideological difference between the two at all. So like the whole idea that Supergirl's the violent one that's like scary. I don't know that comes from New 52, which is she was extremely angry and that was like she became a Red Lantern during New 52 and she
yeah,
killed a
yeah.
lot of people as a Red Lantern and that shit was cool, don't get me wrong, but the New 52 is full of like character assassination nonsense like that, and that's the version of
Yeah,
Supergirl people are talking about. She was a fucking crash out. Like she like you so much as like looked at her the wrong way and she'd just be like dead, and it was like
yeah, yeah.
don't but like if that's the idea they're trying to go with to make her noticeably different from Superman, don't do that because that's people don't want that as how Supergirl is characterized.
It, especially when you're starting a whole universe, you know, like I think, but then again, I think I could see how it serves as a, like, it serves as what's it called, as like support for starting a new universe, because it's like, I mean, you always have Superman. Everyone knows Superman, right? You know
Right.
what he abides by. You know how he operates. Like that's Superman, right? You don't want another Superman, I guess. Like your next movie. Like I feel like if they, like a good idea would have been, you know, what I was saying earlier, like just do the Trinity, then maybe introduce Supergirl later on. You don't have to make her conflict with Superman at all. You can make her like Superman, but obviously with her own unique um attributes and what makes her Supergirl, right? Instead of doing Supergirl right after Superman and then immediately having to show people like, hey, this is Supergirl. She's not like Superman, right? She is, just goes by the line. She sees the truth in people instead of, or no, yeah, she sees the truth in people instead of the good, right? So I don't know. I think obviously that was a huge thing. Like Krem's fate was obviously a huge difference. My main reservation with the movie, well, more so with a difference between the comic and movie that led to one of my main issues with the movie. And I've already explained this to you, but it was the visuals, right? It was the visuals, it was the locations, it was the colors. When you hear, people who've read the comic, right? Anybody watching this who's read Woman of Tomorrow, no matter who you are, the very first thing you think about when you hear Woman of Tomorrow, maybe not even think about it. You just see. You just see the visuals. You see the colors.
Yeah.
You see these grand like locations and different planets, right? That is what made that comic stand out so much, right? Just the art and how great everything looked. The movie could have done that very easily. That's a huge thing that they could have just checked off and like been like, hey, we don't even have to go out of our way to to like adapt that part of the movie. We just have to somewhat replicate it, right? It's nowhere to be seen though.
Yeah.
It looks like they just took Guardians of the Galaxy planets, right? And honestly, I take that back. Guardians of the Galaxy, I feel like does a better job of which, by the way, are great movies. But I feel like they even do a better job of showcasing different worlds and different planets and incorporating visuals and colors into those than this movie did at all. The Green Sun planet, right? In the comic, it looks like it gives like Dune vibes in a way,
Yeah,
right?
a little bit.
In the movie, in the movie, I, the first thing I thought of when I saw that little field, even Ruthie's home planet, right? That giant field with like the little hills and like the lake and stuff. You
Yeah.
know what it made me think of? I was like, this is literally the same exact field or area that in Deathly Hallows Part Two, where after like the trio leaves Gringotts on the dragon
Yeah.
and they jump off, right? And they land in that
Oh, yeah,
lake
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
they swim up on shore and they're all changing and stuff. I swear to God, it looked copy paste from there, like some random field in like the UK somewhere, like Scotland or Ireland. I'm like, brother, we are in intergalactic space right now. We
Yeah.
are on a planet with a a green sun. Like, why does it look like the UK? Like, where where are my colors? Where are my visuals? Like, it was so gray. It was so bland. It lost so much identity that the comic like kind of put forward, to readers. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think that was one of the biggest changes, I guess, that stood out to me.
Yeah. I think anytime someone mentions like how colorful the comic book is, the first thing that pops into my head is when she fights like that sun dragon thing.
Yeah,
And it's just like the whole page is just like it looks like the Phoenix almost.
dude. Oh my
And
god,
it's
that
like
comic is like the most. It's the most beautiful comic I've ever read. Like you don't even have to. Like, I swear to God, like I just reread the comic recently. Like, well, not recently anymore, but when did Supergirl come out? It's in July,
two
ended
weeks ago.
mid June,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. That's really been only 2 weeks. I feel like it's been longer.
Almost
Um,
three, I think.
but I reread it literally like 2 to 3 days building up to the movie, just so I would have all the information fresh in my head.
Yeah.
And even rereading it, there was times where I'd read everything like I'd read all the panels on a page, or I'd read all the dialogue on a page, and I just sit there and I just look at the visuals, and I'd be like, oh, like I'm noticing like this little thing right here, or this little piece right here, like it's like that comic there's so many layers to it that you can like kind of look at it and then to digest, but it's nowhere to be seen in the movie, man. Like, it just felt like you have this beautiful like three-layered multi-layered cake, as a comic, and then it was like sludge for the movie,
Yeah.
right? Like, oh, dude, I don't know that and it's such an easy thing to do as well. Like, I don't know that was definitely a huge thing for me.
I was thinking about it earlier, but you just reminded me. Just talking about how they weren't able to incorporate a lot of the comic book. It's so crazy because so the comic book originally is it's 8 issues. They
Yeah,
should
yeah,
have just made it an HBO show, honestly. They should have just made it an 8 episode
yeah.
thing and just have each issue be an episode. Have
Oh
them
yeah,
be
that works
have each
perfectly
one
for
be an
them.
hour long, especially because then it's like you don't have to worry about the whole like the box office aspect of it. Which obviously Supergirl was not marketed well or did not have the audience they thought it would for like
Yeah.
for a movie theater. Like I think if they would have done it as a show and then been able to show all the stuff you're talking about. Like if they had released a trailer for a TV show version of it and it had all like the colorful crazy shit in the trailer, I think that easily would have done well as an HBO show.
I think also narratively it makes sense because it's kind of like it reminds me of I mean a lot of shows do this, but like the one that pops up in my head is like like Supernatural, they would do like Monster of the Week, right?
Yeah.
Like depending on what the overarching narrative was for a season, obviously um one season they're fighting the like they're going after Lucifer, right? Especially like early seasons. But then along the way, you have your little filler episodes where it's just Monster of the Week, Monster of the Week, Monster of the Week. Narratively, Woman of Tomorrow is so similar. They're on this like revenge quest to
Right.
find Krem, and along the way in the comic, they're visiting all these new grand, colorful, visualistic lands, right, and planets where you are like they're interacting with like the people, right? Because that's another thing is like the people that inhabited these planets. They're visiting these planets and they're seeing how Krem has destroyed these people's like livelihood or destroyed a part of their home or like hurt their family members or stuff, and they're seeing this destruction as they're moving towards finding him. And narratively speaking, that would work perfectly with like the 8 episode structure.
Yeah.
Maybe like 2 3 episodes in when they're finally on the quest, maybe one episode they're on, I mean, Maypole specifically. I feel like that was the biggest part of the comic that wasn't in the movie at all. And then each episode is them going to a new planet, right? And
Yeah.
dealing with Krem's Krem's dealings, right? Before obviously they get to the conclusion. But yeah, I feel like that would work narratively and visually.
Yeah, that was the other reason I was thinking what you just said was because the
Yeah,
story itself works as episodic anyway. So it's like,
yeah.
why not just do it that way to begin with?
It just I don't know. I feel like another thing that kind of hurts the DCU is that their rebirth, I guess, in a way, is coinciding with the downfall of superhero movies as well.
Yeah, in a way.
So it it kind of hurts them as people are having this superhero fatigue from like Marvel, and now they're like, oh, the DC universe is starting their own MCU like universe. Um, so then obviously to then be like, hey, you know what? Instead of doing this as a movie, let's do it as a TV show. I feel like that would hurt it even more, maybe, because obviously people aren't even watching. Like, if you can barely get them to go watch an hour and 40-minute movie, they're not going to sit down weekly to watch a brand new
I don't know. Like, I think there's
introduction
a lot
or
to be,
or entry.
yeah, but there's a lot to be said for like people not willing to leave their house and go watch a movie and pay $20 to go
I
see
guess
that movie, as
that
opposed to
too.
being
Yeah,
able to just turn on HBO on your couch and be like, oh, I'll binge an 8 hour TV show or whatever.
that's true. Yeah, honestly, I guess you could see it both ways because I mean we've seen time and time again. if people want to go watch a movie, they'll go watch a movie. I mean, you see Oppenheimer. Everyone and their mother went to go watch that movie, right? You
Yep.
see
Barbie.
um, uh, Barbie, right? They're gonna go like if people see a movie that they are truly interested in and it does capture the audience's like attention, general audiences, passionate fans, whatever,
Yeah.
they're gonna go watch the movie, right? So I guess yeah, you could say it both ways. But honestly, I don't know what it was about Supergirl. I feel like as comic book fans, you like there's no question that you'd be interested. Like, you and I,
Oh,
like
sure. Yeah.
we are going to go
Yeah.
watch the
It does.
movie,
It
right?
literally does
We
not
love
matter.
this.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like I'm
like
going to
it
see
doesn't
it.
matter. Like no matter like you are going to see it as a comic book fan, as a Woman of Tomorrow fan, as a Supergirl fan, you
Yeah.
want to see the movie do well, right? You want to see this new universe do well. But for I guess general audiences, it's like I don't know, like what didn't click with them? I don't really understand. Like is it really like so much that people go off of critic ratings nowadays? Do they go off like reviews on social media that kind of turn them off? Or are people just, I mean, it can't be that people aren't interested in going to movies because we know they are. We know they will.
Right. Yeah.
So in my mind, it's like, I don't know what turned them off about Supergirl. Because even like box office wise, honestly, I don't really know how badly it's done. I just know there've been jokes about it because Moana is coming out,
It's bad. Yeah.
and like I've heard it's bad. I just don't know how bad.
I think they're probably gonna cap out around like 90 million. They were at like 70 something after week one. I think they were at like almost 80 after week two.
That's so unfortunate too, man. Because it's like see the thing is I don't know if I mean Superman. I'm pretty sure Superman did really good, or
It
did really
it
well,
did decently enough. Yeah.
or like it did like it wasn't like a home run, but it did well enough to be like, hey, like people are interested in this.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean, this year is crazy for movies in general, especially this summer. So it's like I think people would generally just be excited to go watch anything. Um, so
Yeah.
I honestly, yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know what would
Superman
turn them
made
off so much about this.
almost 6.5 million.
Six and a
Which,
half million? You mean
yeah.
650? 650.
Yeah.
Okay, 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 yeah. Oof, that's tough. That's why I saw people making jokes about like Moana coming out, and they're like, "Oh, like Supergirl, like Moana's gonna save you because Moana might have a worse box
No, it
office
won't.
outcome." I saw that and I'm like, listen, you're underestimating the Disney fanatics. They are going to go crazy for that movie. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping that the Odyssey can come through next week.
Well, it
I
was.
don't even know how well Toy Story's been doing.
Oh,
Minions.
Toy Story's
Yeah,
been
honestly,
beating the dog piss out of everybody, bro.
really.
I'm pretty sure.
I still haven't seen Toy Story, dude. I'm so behind on movies. I mean, I've told you, like honestly, the World Cup has destroyed like the inner cinephile in me. Like I haven't watched anything. I think the last movie I watched was Supergirl, and that was like I barely could. Like I barely had time to watch that. Um,
Yeah, Toy
but yeah,
Story's
no, I
at
need to catch up.
800 million right now, I think.
That is
You know,
crazy.
Toy Story don't give a fuck, bro.
You know what? Honestly, that they deserve that. Like they came in, they said, "Hey, we're not done yet. We're
It,
coming back." I
I
mean, when did Toy Story 4 come out? Like 2000. I feel like 2010 sounds right. Maybe that's too early. I don't know.
4?
No, I said 10. That sounds
Toy Story
legit,
4
right?
did not come out in 2010. You're an actual crazy person.
Are you saying it's after that?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wow.
Toy Story
Yeah.
3 was like
2019. What is
2011
it?
or something like that.
It was Toy Story 3, that's why. Toy Story 3 was 2010. That's why I got confused. And so it hasn't really been as long as I thought. 2019, what, it's been
No,
7
it
years? Yeah,
hasn't been that
7
long since
years.
Toy Story 4.
Yeah, it hasn't
I
been that
mean,
long.
it's a long time, but not when they've been taking
It is a
like
long time,
decade
but
long breaks between the last couple.
you know what's crazy too is that this is so off topic, but the 7 year, like that 7 year mark between Toy Story 4 and 5, and obviously it's animation, so it's a completely different different um, ballpark.
Situation, yeah.
But yeah, situation. But then even comparing it to like how the modern filmmaking process is, and like terms of how many years they take, or how many uh, uh well, yeah, how many years they take to make a sequel, how many years they take to make a season two or like
Sure,
another
yeah.
season. It made me think about the Dune trilogy,
Yeah, I knew that's where you were
and
going with
how,
this.
right, and how they have just delivered. Listen, we know Dune 3 is going to be crazy. All right, like there's no way Dune 3 is not going to be good,
Even
right?
even
Like
if
I
they
you
like
can't even fathom that,
even if they like continue
dude.
to
There's no way,
deviate more than the
dude.
second one
Dude,
did,
I
it
honestly,
still won't not be good.
like I like, yeah. There's no way, right? Dune 1, right? Part 1 came out 21.
That's so crazy, bro.
2, 24. 3 is 26. They have taken 5 years, maybe six, because obviously pre-production for one
Sure,
was
sure, sure.
probably 2020, and obviously COVID might have done some. Regardless, 5 6 years to create. This might be controversial, but I think they might be creating the best trilogy of all time.
I hope that that statement holds up. That way, it won't be considered. That way, Lord of the Rings won't be considered the best trilogy anymore.
You know,
So that
I
my
was gonna say
hatred
that
of
because
Lord of the Rings will be validated.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I mean, I know you don't like Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings, but even then, I think this has the potential to dethrone Lord of the Rings. They could dethrone, um, for our time. You know, obviously, I feel like the generation that grew up with the OT with Star Wars, like
I don't think you. I
I,
think Dune.
I think
I'm
I
about.
think we
I'm.
could
I
say like
almost said
Dune.
something crazy.
See, the thing is that's why I said it might be controversial, because obviously people who grew up with the OT, like they're obviously gonna have a special like that place that those movies. I love those movies. Just to preface, but people who grew up with those movies, like and not even in terms of like an entertainment sort of place, like coming from an entertainment sort of place, like those movies are great entertainment, but also just like as a filmmaking marvel, you know, those movies did so much, right, in terms of sci-fi, that it's like
Yeah.
that they were pioneers, right? Those movies were pioneers in terms of sci-fi filmmaking. um so obviously for people who grew up with that and seeing that for the first time, they're like that's going to hold a special place in their heart. Obviously we saw those movies a little bit, you know, afterwards, since you know we're not from that generation. But now seeing Dune rise in our generation, I feel like this might be our OT, right? This series might just be like it just might be the best trilogy. Like I don't know, I don't know how to further like
Yeah.
uh, uh uh go beyond that, but what we've seen in part one and part two and part three, and then so far in part three, and also just given how long it's taking them to do this, is like it's sometimes it's unfathomable, right? It's like how do you like knowing that this is possible, and then you look at all these TV shows and movies that are like, hey, we came out with our movie, but you know we're taking another 2 3 years to make the next one, or like
Yeah.
when it comes to television series, and it's like, brother, if Dune can do it on a level that is beyond anything that you are trying to attempt, like Percy Jackson, right? Like, bro, if Dune can do it, you guys can too, man. Like, oh my god,
Bro.
oh, dude, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I haven't really been enamored by movie trailers or movie teasers as much lately, and the only time I remember being this captivated by a trailer or like the build up and up to a movie releasing was recently the Batman.
Mm.
That's probably the most recent one
That
I can
first
think of.
trailer was peak.
Before that, and then before that was The Last Jedi. Before the movie came out,
Why
right?
would you bring that up?
Well, hold on. I'm just using it as an
I
example.
know, I know.
But then before that was Deathly Hallows Part One. When that trailer came out, there was nothing else in my life that mattered more than that trailer, and I was like, this is going to be the best movie ever. Even for Deadly House Part 2, honestly, I was still excited or whatever.
I
But
think
Deadly House Part 1, there was something different, right?
I think the Infinity War
So
trailer had that kind of sauce
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot about that.
when they're all
See,
doing the
this is what Dune's
speech.
done to
When they're
me.
doing the
It
speech,
oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah. You know what? You know what?
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It's like the same thing.
that was crazy.
Yeah, like Deathly Hallows Part 1 gave me that feeling, but Part 2 didn't really, even though I was excited. It's like Infinity War gave me that feeling, but Endgame like didn't really give me the same thing, right?
Sure.
Um, but yeah, no, this trilogy, I think it might be better than Lord of the Rings. It might be better than the OT. It might be better than the Tron movies, the Tron trilogy. What other trilogies are out there? Like I can't like any trilogy, right?
Bro,
Like it's definitely better than the sequel trilogy.
if anyone thinks the Tron trilogy is good, you need to go get a CAT scan.
What other trilogies are out there?
Spider Man.
I for
Spider Man 3 is
see
not good enough.
why does that one bother me more than the OT? Because I'm thinking about Spider-Man 1 and
Because the
2 and I'm
first two
like,
are
"Oh,
so
there's no way,
goaded.
dude."
Yeah.
I'm like, "There's no way, bro." The first two, and even though I love the third one, like I love the
Oh
third
yeah,
movie.
same. But
I
yeah.
understand its flaws. I understand people's like stipulations behind it. I love that movie.
What about
But
the
yeah, I don't know, dude. This
what about the
huh?
Amazing Spider Man trilogy?
Hey man, don't do that to me. I still believe. I still believe Andrew's coming back. They're gonna give him TASM 3. TASM 3. You know, I don't I know well, I guess I don't know if I want to say this because you haven't been watching the recent TV spots for Brand New Day, but there's one thing that uh like one of the TV spots that came out where Peter like says something and he kind of references uh Toby's Spider-Man, and it's kind of crazy because he's just like obviously like sometimes like I don't know, sometimes you think and it's like obviously No Way Home is what 5 years old now,
Yeah, something
almost
like that.
5 years old, which is
That
crazy
is
to
crazy.
say. Crazy to say, right? It's like what 4.5 years old. Um, like that movie happened, right? But sometimes it doesn't feel like that happened. It's like, oh, Toby and Andrew were in
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
MCU movie. Like what that actually happened, right? But now this movie's like doubling down on it, and it's like showing you, it's like, hey, that actually happened. Like Tom is referencing Toby
Yeah, yeah.
in the movie in a way, and it's like, dude, that is so crazy. But I mean, going back to Dune, I don't know, dude. I think I don't know if it's recency bias. Like I feel like Spider-Man, like the Tobey movies made me feel like childlike joy and like remembering those movies. It's like it like has like a warm place in my heart. But these movies are just like I don't know, you feel something like I don't know, like that, I mean,
I
you've
mean,
watched the new trailer,
it's
like the war chant.
yeah, 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 yeah.
The war chant is like I didn't even think they could get better than the first teaser.
That
But they
first the
got
first
they just took it
teasers,
to
I think
another
the first teaser's still better. When Paul starts doing the chant in the first teaser, that shit goes stupid.
like how it
Yeah,
progresses
yeah,
from
yeah,
like
yeah,
just slowly like saying it and
yeah,
then
yeah,
it
yeah.
just
Yeah, he's like
oh my
yelling it.
god,
Yeah,
dude.
no, that first trailer was crazy.
I don't know. Dude, this movie's gonna be
Well, I think the
there's no
difference
world that exists.
I think the
I wish this movie's
difference
gonna be better.
between like Dune and like the Spider-Man trilogy for like what you were just saying is like Dune
Yeah.
and even like reading Dune books, you almost like don't breathe the whole time. Like you're like holding your breath. Like that's the kind of feeling
Yeah.
you get where you're just like some crazy shit is gonna happen, and it's gonna be horrible, but you're like you want it to happen, and you're just kind of like you're just like
Oh my
tensing
god.
up
Yeah.
as it gets closer and closer to the moment. Like when I was watching the trailer, for example, like the most recent one that came out like yesterday or whatever,
Mhm.
I was just like, I was like, I really hope that everything works out, but like, I know that it won't, and that's
You know
that's
what's
why
crazy
Dune is
too?
so great.
You know what's crazy too is that I remember I was talking about not necessarily agreeing with Denise uh and his decision to like
Leave Chani behind.
introduce like this rift, right,
Yeah.
with Chani and Paul at the end of part two. But obviously they're taking that and they're building upon it in three,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like they're gonna have. Well, first of all, it seems like they're definitely gonna show a lot of stuff during the war.
Oh, from the jihad, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then, and obviously, I think a big part of that is gonna be Chani getting
Yeah.
over it, essentially. Not getting over it, but Paul coming back and being like, "Look, you're being ridiculous," and then they're gonna fight in the sand,
There,
and Paul's gonna win, and then, or he's gonna let
there were
Chani
some, yeah,
win, whatever.
there there was a shot of her fighting some like Fremen
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
like the sandworm, right?
It looked
And then
that way
obviously
anyway.
like insinuating that she's also gonna like face off against Paul.
Yeah,
And it's like, you know what? I didn't agree with this at first, but I will give it a chance to
yeah.
see like what
Like, yeah.
like
As long
yeah.
as she's
If
still,
Denise,
as long as she still ends up where
yeah,
she's supposed to be, then like they can fight in the middle. That's fine. Like that'd be cool.
yeah. I honestly I trust Denise. Like he has the power. He has the vision. I'm here for it. I just need to see how it plays
I'm
out.
also really looking
Um,
forward to Paul beating the brakes off Duncan. That's gonna
you know
be
what?
hilarious, bro.
I actually had this as a talking point too. Is at first when the first teaser came out, because obviously Duncan coming back is supposed to be a surprise when you read Messiah, right?
Sure,
Like it's
sure.
supposed to be like, oh hey, like where did he come from? Um, Even though it's not really Duncan anymore, right? But Duncan's vessel, in a sense, is here. Like him as a clone is there. And at first, when they revealed him just straight off in the teaser, I was like, for like like the general audience who hasn't read the book, and it's like, why would you immediately show that, right? But then I thought about it, and I was like, Duncan is a huge part of Messiah, so they can't really not show him. Like they have to show him in some way because of how integral he is to the story, at least so far, that
Sure.
I've read. Um, but yeah, no, it's I think that that's gonna go crazy. Like it's gonna go insane, and especially the fact that he's kind of serving as Paul's like uh, uh mirror in a sense, where
Yeah, yeah.
he's like saying like, oh, like I forgot what the line was that he just like when he's chained up and Paul's like standing next to him, he says something about him or says something to
Yeah,
him
he says
about
he
like what he's
says he
done.
says you're beyond redemption.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There you go. So he's like, pointing out Paul's like what he's become. Like, oh my god, dude. I saw like I know they revealed like someone on Twitter, they did a juxtaposition between like Paul when he's speaking to um Leto at right before they go to Arrakis in part one, right when they're on the
Uh-huh.
field or whatever in the grass, and he gives him the signet ring or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it was a screen grab of Paul there, and then the next one was Paul with his head shaved, his eyes burned from part three, and it's just like that juxtaposition. Like, oh my god, it's like, dude, what has transpired in these movies? Like, there's no way this ends well, and there's no way
Well,
it doesn't end like in a crazy way.
oh, it's weird though,
Like
cause
stuff is gonna go down.
yeah, yeah. It's weird though, cause it's kind of like ah, okay, like ending well in the sense that like everybody, you know, gets to make it out. Obviously, that's not gonna happen. But like
Yeah,
long term, it has to end well because like that's the point. Like for the Fremen,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
In a
like
sense,
the
yeah.
whole
For yeah,
paradise thing does happen. Like that like that's what happens. Like
yeah, yeah,
Paul
yeah, yeah.
wins outright. So it's just kind of like obviously that's gonna end that. Like even if Paul dies or whatever the case might be, it's like it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
well,
Did you notice? Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just say it's gonna be fun to watch someone you know it's gonna be fun to watch Paul do what Aaron should have done and finish the mission.
Anyway. I don't even want to get started on that, man. You know, too, in my head as well, like because I loved that show so much before
Before it became
season
terrible.
4, part 2 happened. Yeah, like in my head when I was talking earlier about that juxtaposition between, part 1 Paul and then part 3 Paul is like it gave me flashes. It gave me flashes of Anakin first, obviously, since he kind of inspired Anakin in a way.
Right.
But then it also gave me Aaron, uh, like flashes too, and I was like, dang, like that's unfortunate because like even though looks wise, that's I guess kind of what happened to Aaron too. Like his whole downfall and well, I guess it wasn't really downfall, but his transformation in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. Fulfilling his
I was
destiny.
like, dang, yeah, yeah. I was like, dang, like if only they just stuck the landing, I guess.
If only Aaron had follow through.
Yeah, if only Aaron had done what was
Yeah.
necessary.
It's like Vader and Paul both
Um,
finished the mission. Fuck's your problem?
did you notice that Robert was kind of using his Bat's voice
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as
In the
Scytale? Like it was kind of giving me like in the very first teaser, he was he was like a little more grovelly, I think. But in this one, I don't know. He just like I was like, if I close my eyes and I listen to this part of the trailer, like it sounds like Batman.
yeah. I did like the part of the
Um,
trailer where he was telling Irulan how he was gonna like
Irulan,
overthrow Paul, and she was
like
like, "You're
yeah,
fucking crazy!" Like,
she's like, hold on, are you serious? Yeah.
she was like, "You're gonna die, bro!" Like,
Oh, dude, this like I feel like there hasn't been a movie series that has established a sense of like just overall like epicness.
yeah,
That I know you don't like Lord of the Rings, but there hasn't been a series that has done that since I would say them, right? Because I mean, I thought of another trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy. I don't know how I forgot about that. Even though the Dark Knight trilogy, I feel like obviously besides the Dark Knight, you don't really the other two are definitely more flawed for sure. Even though I love those
yeah.
movies. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think this. I was gonna say something. I lost my train of thought, but yeah, there's just no way this movie doesn't turn out the way that it looks like it's gonna turn out.
Yeah, it's basically what everyone's been saying on like almost in like trying to be funny, just being people that normally like, critique trailers or whatever, just making videos and they're just like
Yeah,
everything was perfect.
honestly, there's like there are no flaws. Like I'm kind of upset that they're not, at least as of right now. Denise isn't gonna be adapting Children of Dune
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
God Emperor Dune or
Chapter
anything
House.
beyond Messiah. But honestly, but I feel like this
They
this
should
will
they
this is gonna have some Children of Dune
maybe a
in
little
it.
bit,
There's
yeah.
no way it doesn't have some of it in it.
They should just do it all, man. They should just run away with it. Do every
I
book.
mean, you have it. You have the audience for it. Like maybe I know Prophecy didn't do really well, but that's because it had
Well,
nothing to do with
yeah. I mean, it's because it
Paul
goes
and Paul's legacy.
yeah, it goes almost all the way back to the beginning of the timeline. So it's like
Yeah, yeah. Like even though like I guess Messiah, like after Messiah, like Paul's not really present in
yeah, yeah.
like the latter books, but I mean his legacy is there, right? His
Yeah, I
kids
mean,
are
yeah,
there.
his kids are
So
still the main characters and stuff, so it's like okay.
yeah, yeah. So there is still that interest, I guess that people would have. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think literally one of my points is just like it literally just said peak. Like I don't know how else to explain that.
I mean, Prophecy did okay. Like it didn't like pop off or anything.
I didn't finish it though. I remember I watched
I haven't
like
watched it
a
yet.
couple episodes. Like
But I
I
do
watched a
know,
couple and then I just it was hard to keep up with. Yeah.
yeah, I do know from like looking it up that it like it starts with Sisterhood of Dune, which is like almost the beginning,
Yeah, yeah.
but apparently it's
It,
going
it
past
yeah.
that. So I'm like, okay, just if like just keep Dune Prophecy going and just do all the other books in that, and then do like all the prequels. Like just keep doing Prophecy until you're done with the prequels,
Yeah.
and then if whether you know who, I don't care who does it, but like have Chapter House and God Emperor and Children. And obviously that's out of order, but like do those three as movies.
We'll see, I guess, because I mean, technically speaking, like I know a lot of people like their problem with part one was that I mean, obviously, first of all, it wasn't marketed as part one, and people went into the movie thinking it was going to
True.
be just a like a that like that was it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then obviously you realize that it's like, oh, they ended the story kind of halfway through, which reasonable enough. Dune is a huge book.
Yeah, show's
Um,
massive.
so and then after part two, it's like it ends, but then it kind of is like it's not over, right?
Yeah,
Like it's not over,
yeah. It ends with the
and so then they're
beginning.
like, oh, yeah, yeah. But there was always that idea that there was like, oh, Denise hasn't said if there's going to be a part three, even though we kind of know there is. Like I feel like we might have that like after this movie too. Like part three is going to end in a way that kind of like, and then even if they incorporate some of the children to Dune, it's like there's going to be more to tell here. Maybe not from Denis himself anymore,
Right.
but I don't know. I think people are too invested in this story now to be like, we'll take it at three, and then that's it, right?
Yeah. It's also, yeah. I mean, it's just like you have, you know 20 something books you could make into movies and TV shows, and everybody
Yeah,
loves the first three movies, which is just two of those books. So it's like, why would you not keep going? And I've
yeah,
seen people be like, oh, well, well, people were trying to argue against that argument, being like, why wouldn't you keep making them? And people like, oh, so it stays like perfect or whatever. And I'm just like, I guess, but I'd rather see the rest of it.
yeah. I guess that's always kind of what you have to play with in terms of like you have a perfect conclusion, and it's like adding on to it, you don't know if it's gonna hit the same way. But
That's a dumb reason
listen, I
not
feel
to
like
make more, though. Like, just
I
because you're
I I
afraid you're going to fail.
yeah, I guess if you've seen how successful the first three are, it's kind of like you know what works. You have a formula that works. Just don't
Imagine if
do
George
anything
Lucas
differently.
had said, I'm not going to make any
Done the
more
same
Star
thing
Wars
after the
because I'm
OT.
afraid I won't do as
Yeah.
well with the OT. And we wouldn't have
Uh,
Clone Wars.
that's a good point. That's a good point, yeah. That's
It's like,
that's
hey, shut
that's a
up.
good point.
Just keep making stuff. Some of it'll be bad, some
Oh,
of it'll be
man.
good.
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
And
This movie is just gonna be incredible.
yeah, unless you're Rick Riordan, and you should stop making stuff.
Still haven't read those books.
I'm
I
not,
still haven't
yeah.
read the 6 and 7. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not even, those aren't even bad. I mean, I haven't read them, but
Oh, you're talking about,
I'm talking about like Apollo and the Nico books.
Apollo, Trials of Apollo? Yeah.
Trials of Apollo is
I
not
haven't
even.
read those either.
It's not. I haven't finished Trials of Apollo. I'm still stuck in the middle of them.
Mm,
They're not bad, but they're just like who. It's just like who cares? Like every page, I'm like, I why do I care? Like,
yeah.
where's Percy?
I need to catch up, honestly,
No, you don't.
but
It's so unnecessary. It's literally just
I do
like
just I
it's
feel
just
like
side quests. That's it. Like literally, it's just like, oh, everybody important is busy having their happy endings. So yeah, we're just gonna show you side quests of a bunch of losers, and it's just like, okay,
yeah,
that sounds fun.
I think in my head, it's just like, "Oh, like, I feel like I'm missing out because I have" like, I mean, I have Apollo 1 and 2, I think, behind me
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I haven't touched them at all. I have Percy 6 over there. I haven't touched that. I don't have 7. I don't have any of the Nico books, but it's like I just feel like I'm so behind on everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I might have to call it there for tonight. I don't know how long have we been going?
About an hour and a half.
Do you have a timer? Hour and a half? That's not bad. Um, yeah, just I guess let me know when you guys, yeah, is Chase hopping on? Like, when's the next time you guys are probably doing this?
Monday night probably.
As in next Monday, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Thursday.
yeah.
I should be able to do Monday. Well, what is the itinerary, I guess, for that day? Anything specific right now? Or?
Not right now. We haven't had like we haven't talked about what we're gonna do specifically for that one. Um,
Okay.
I think a running thing that we're gonna do like going forward is probably like reviewing, not necessarily reviewing it like in a strictly professional sense, but just like reviewing
Mhm.
games. Not like
Oh, okay.
one game per episode or something like that. Just
Oh, I
going,
got you. I got you.
and obviously like he and I would probably be talking about it more from like a platinum sense of it, because like when we were talking about it, I've
Yeah, yeah,
that's like, if even if we just talked about one game per episode, that's like 500 plus topics across, you know that's like that's
yeah.
an easy
Just
thing to
all
slot
those,
in
everything.
once an episode
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like 500 episodes basically, theoretically.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
um
I also saw your like I mean, obviously, I follow the channel. I think I was gonna tell you too. Like the shorts idea, I think is also really smart because
yeah, yeah,
I feel like obviously with these long episodes, it's like I know you have been condensing them like little 6 minute, 7 minute ones. Um, but I think the shorts is really where like small snippets of these conversations, could like gain
yeah,
traction and
yeah.
stuff like
I
that.
think I'm gonna probably just do the shorts only going forward, just because like the clips are basically the same thing, but because
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
just like, it takes so much effort to make both kinds of them, so I'm just gonna do the shorts
yeah.
and then edit the
I
longer
think the
formats.
shorts work out. I can also make like I guess I like a short list of ideas or like topics that we can talk about that I guess you guys haven't really done yet, or maybe you could do it again since I guess uh
Yeah. Well, I guess one thing I think I'll probably will
like
talk
more.
about the next episode is I basically made like a giant list of all, like, I don't know if I included animated stuff. I think maybe I did. Oh yeah, I think I did. But like basically all the superhero shows I've watched, and just doing like a
Okay.
deep dive on those and just talking about why, which ones are good and which ones suck and which ones fell off and so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that'll
yeah.
probably be a thing.
Okay. Yeah, I can come up with my own chart list and I guess I can just text you that
Yeah,
and then we can go from there.
sounds
Do
good.
you guys do you guys do a sign out? I'm assuming you guys don't
Not
because you cut it
really.
up
I
in
mean,
clips. So,
yeah, not really. Yeah, we usually just kind of
all
stop.
right. Well, I guess I guess that's it then.
All right. Well, I guess I do kind of do one.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I usually just I it's really just like we'll see you guys in the next one, and then I usually cut it off there. But that's usually what I say.
Okay.
But it's fine. I'm not
All
doing it
right.
this time. I just said it. It'd be weird.
Well, there we go.
All
That
right.
works for me.
That's the end of the episode right
All right, man.
now. All right.
There we go. Right now.